Start of script. Have you ever looked at a couple and thought, wow, they have it all? That was us. From the outside, Mark and I were the picture of a perfect marriage. We had a beautiful home in the suburbs, two amazing kids, and careers that many would envy. We hosted dinner parties, went on romantic getaways, and always presented a united front. To our friends and family, we were not couple goals. But behind the closed doors of our pristine home, a different story was unfolding, one built on a foundation of secrets and lies, and it all came crashing down in a single devastating night. I remember that evening vividly. The air was thick with an unspoken tension that had been building for months. Mark was unusually quiet at dinner, his gaze distant. I tried to fill the silence with small talk about my day, about the kids' school projects, anything to puncture the heavy atmosphere. He just nodded, his responses clipped and monosyllabic. I told myself it was work stress. He was a successful architect, always under pressure. It was easier to believe that than to confront the truth I was hiding. After the kids were in bed, I found him in the living room, staring out the window into the darkness. He wasn't holding his phone or a drink, just standing there, a silhouette against the city lights. My heart started to pound. This stillness was more unnerving than any argument we'd ever had. "Is everything okay, honey?" I asked, my voice sounding fragile even to my own ears. He turned around slowly, his face etched with a weariness I'd never seen before. There were no tears, no anger, just a profound, hollow sadness in his eyes. He held up his phone, the screen glowing in the dim light. And there it was, a screenshot, a text message, a conversation between me and another man, filled with words I never thought Mark would see. The words were affectionate, intimate, and undeniably incriminating. My world tilted on its axis. My breath caught in my throat. I opened my mouth to explain, to lie, to do anything to rewind time, but no words came out. I was caught. The intricate web of deception I had woven over the past year was laid bare. I braced myself for the explosion, for the shouting, the accusations, the righteous fury I knew I deserved. I had betrayed him, shattered the vows we made, and I was ready for the consequences. But the explosion never came. Mark simply looked at me, his gaze steady and piercing, and said, "Was it worth it, Anna?" His voice was calm. Not cold, not detached, but impossibly heartbreakingly calm. And in that moment, his calmness broke me more than any rage ever could. It was a calmness that spoke of a pain so deep, it was beyond anger. It was the sound of a heart that had already shattered and was now just trying to hold the pieces together. "Mark, I can explain," I stammered, the words feeling pathetic and hollow. "It wasn't what you think," but we both knew it was. He didn't interrupt. He just let my feeble excuses hang in the air, their falsity echoing in the silence. He wasn't going to fight me. He wasn't going to give me the drama I was, on some level, prepared for. He was simply going to make me sit with the truth of what I had done. His composure was my undoing. If he had screamed, I could have screamed back. If he had accused me, I could have defended myself, twisted the narrative, maybe even shifted some of the blame. But his quiet sorrow offered no such escape. It held up a mirror, forcing me to see the full, unvarnished ugliness of my actions. I saw the betrayal, the selfishness, the casual cruelty of it all. The man I had promised to love and cherish was standing before me, utterly broken by my choices. And he wasn't even raising his voice. The tears I had been holding back finally streamed down my face. They weren't tears of self-pity. They were tears of genuine, soul-crushing shame. "I'm so sorry," I whispered, the words a mere puff of air. "Mark, please, say something, yell at me, please." I needed him to be angry. I needed the punishment, the catharsis of a fight. His serenity was a torment. He finally shook his head, a slow, deliberate movement. "There's nothing to yell about, Anna. he said, his voice still level. It's done. The trust, it's gone. I don't even know who you are anymore. Each word was a precise, clean cut, straight to my heart. He wasn't attacking me. He was just stating a fact. He was detaching himself not out of spite, but out of a necessity for self-preservation. Over the next few hours, he calmly laid out his discovery. He had suspected something for months. The late nights I claimed were work meetings, the sudden, secretive phone calls, the emotional distance I had created between us. He hadn't wanted to believe it. He had tried to convince himself he was being paranoid. But a gut feeling, a husband's intuition, had led him to look at our phone records. And there it was, in black and white. A single number, called and texted hundreds of times. He didn't ask me for details about the other man. He didn't ask why. It was as if those questions were irrelevant now. The core issue wasn't the affair itself, but the lie. The fact that the person he trusted most in the world was capable of such a profound and prolonged deception. The perfect marriage, he said with a small, humorless laugh. Was any of it real, Anna? The last year? The last 5 years? I couldn't answer him. How could I? I had tainted every memory, cast a shadow of doubt over every smile, every "I love you." The life we had built felt like a movie set, and I had just revealed the cameras and the crew. That night we didn't sleep in the same bed. I lay on the couch, replaying his calm, devastated face in my mind, the sound of his quiet disappointment louder than any scream. The days that followed were a quiet agony. We moved through our home like ghosts, maintaining a fragile peace for the sake of our children. We'd smile at breakfast, help them with their homework, and put them to bed with stories and kisses. Then, the silence would descend again. It was a masterclass in pretending. But the pretense was no longer for the outside world. It was a desperate, failing attempt to shield our kids from the earthquake that was tearing their family apart. Mark's calm never wavered. He spoke to me about logistics, finances, the house, telling the kids. His practicality was terrifying. It felt like he was methodically dismantling our life together, brick by brick, with the same precision he used to design buildings. There was no room for my apologies or pleas for forgiveness. He would listen politely, his eyes vacant, and then return to the business of our separation. I realized then that his calm wasn't a sign of weakness or apathy. It was a sign of strength. It was the quiet dignity of a man who refused to be defined by my betrayal. He wouldn't allow my actions to turn him into a screaming, bitter monster. He was choosing to handle the worst moment of his life with a grace that I, in my deceit, had completely lacked. And this quiet strength, this refusal to sink to a lower level, was the ultimate judgment on my character. It forced me to finally look at myself, at the reasons behind my actions. It wasn't about love or passion or finding a soulmate. It was about ego. It was about the thrill of a secret, the validation of someone new, the escape from the comfortable but sometimes mundane reality of a long-term marriage. I had risked everything, my husband, my children, my home, for something so fleeting and selfish. Seeing Mark's controlled pain, his unwavering integrity in the face of my faithlessness, made my choices seem not just wrong, but small and pathetic. That one night, and the quiet, painful days that followed, didn't just reveal the lies in our marriage. It revealed the truth about who we were. It showed me a man of incredible character and resilience. And it showed me a woman who had lost her way, who had prioritized her own selfish whims over the hearts of the people she claimed to love most. His calm didn't just break me, it shattered the illusion I had of myself. And in the rubble, for the first time in a very long time, I was forced to confront the person I had become. The path forward was unclear, but one thing was certain. The perfect marriage was over, and the long, difficult work of rebuilding myself, alone, had just begun. Thank you so much for watching, and for being a part of this community. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content. Your support means the world. See you next time. End of script.